Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Russia-Ukraine war. What we know on day 54 of the invasion. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for more weapons, describing every delay as permission for Russia to take the lives of Ukrainians. In his latest address, he appealed to countries to send arms, saying Ukraine's fate depends upon them. Zelensky also claimed in the address that the regions of Kherson and Zaporizhzhia in Ukraine's south were being transferred to the Ruble zone and subordinated to Russian administration. The Ukrainian president said Russia's actions in the territories were following the example of the so-called separatist republics of the DPR and LPR. Ukraine has vowed that its forces will fight to the end in the besieged port city of Mariupol, after a Russian ultimatum for the remaining Ukrainian troops there to surrender expired. A second British soldier fighting with the Ukrainian army was paraded on Russian television after being captured in Mariupol. Sean Pinner, 48, said he had been fighting alongside Ukrainian Marines when Vladimir Putin's forces invaded nearly 8 weeks ago. Ukraine has completed a questionnaire which will form a starting point for the European Union to decide on membership for Kyiv. Ozevkov, deputy head of President Volodymyr Zelensky's office, said. A fresh series of Russian airstrikes came as a reminder this weekend that the war in the Ukrainian capital is far from over, despite signs of more normal life returning to the streets in recent days. An unverified photo claiming to show the Russian warship Moskva moments after it was reportedly hit by a Ukrainian Neptune missile has surfaced online. The source of the image is unclear and The Guardian has not been able to immediately verify its authenticity. Zelensky said he has invited French President Emmanuel Macron to visit Ukraine to see for himself evidence that Russian forces have committed genocide, a term Macron has avoided using. Earlier on Sunday, Zelensky urged U.S. President Joe Biden to visit Ukraine and reiterated that he is not willing to cede territory in the country's east to end war with Russia. Zelensky said he was hopeful Biden would make the trip. The president of the European Commission has urged member states to supply Ukraine with weapons systems quickly, and suggested that a next round of EU sanctions could target Russia's powerful Sberbank. The International Monetary Fund's managing director, Kristalina Georgieva, said she had a very good call with Ukraine's president. She added, continued economic support by Ukraine's partners is essential to lay the foundations for rebuilding a modern competitive Ukraine. The United Nations Refugee Agency said 4,869,019 Ukrainians had left the country since Russia invaded in February, up 32,574 from Saturday's total. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees Chief, Filippo Grandiz, said on Sunday. Oleg Sinigubov, head of the Kharkiv Regional Administration, said Ukrainian forces were successfully pushing the Russians back to the east of the city and that several villages were liberated. At least 2 people were killed and 4 injured on Sunday in the shelling of the eastern Ukrainian town of Zolot, the local governor said. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has abruptly transformed the world. Millions of people have already fled. A new Iron Curtain is grinding into place. An economic war deepens. As the military conflict escalates, civilian casualties rise and evidence of horrific war crimes mounts. It's our job at The Guardian to decipher a rapidly changing landscape, particularly when it involves a mounting refugee crisis and the risk of unthinkable escalation. Our correspondents are on the ground in Ukraine and throughout the globe delivering round-the-clock reporting and analysis during this perilous situation. We know there is no substitute for being there, and we'll stay on the ground, as we did during the 1917 Russian Revolution, the Ukrainian famine of the 1930s, the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 and the first Russo-Ukrainian conflict in 2014. We have an illustrious, 200-year history of reporting throughout Europe in times of upheaval, peace and everything in between. We won't let up now. Tens of millions have placed their trust in The Guardian's fearless journalism since we started publishing 200 years ago, turning to us in moments of crisis, uncertainty, solidarity and hope. We'd like to invite you to join more than 1.5 million supporters from 180 countries who now power us financially, keeping us open to all, and fiercely independent. Unlike many others, The Guardian has no shareholders and no billionaire owner. Just the determination and passion to deliver high-impact global reporting, always free from commercial or political influence. Reporting like this is vital to establish the facts, who is lying and who is telling.